This is my review for Longclaw, Sword of Jon Snow, made by Valyrian Steel. I'm also doing a review of the Scabbard. I've owned this sword for over a year now, but I decided to wait until I get the Scabbard to do my review for it. I have a review available for King Robert's Warhammer. I'll post that in the description, you should check that out. So here we have Jon Snow's sword. Here's the Direwolf Pommel. Very nice. In another review, a reviewer mentioned that the weathering was not quite as accurate as it was in the show, and after taking a close look, I actually noticed the same thing. Close enough though, it still looks very nice. And one thing that's a bit of a problem is up here, you might see some scratch, and that is because when I opened it out of the box, there was a wooden piece next to the styrofoam that was holding it in place at the top. So it scratched a bit of paint off, so hopefully they will change that for future products. And here is the hilt of the sword. It has a very nice leather grip and a beautiful Night's Watch plaque, which I will get into more detail of later. I have the stainless steel version, not the Damascus. It's $300 more for Damascus swords, but the Damascus Longclaw is sold out, so it's no longer available. Now let's take a look at the Scabbard. As you can see, this too has a lot of detail. The belt wrapped around it, so you can wear it if you so choose, which I will show you later. It is actually quite cool. And then of course, for the Scabbard and the sword, you get certificates of authenticity. So I have sword number 1829. Both the Scabbard and the sword's certificate of authenticity has a pretty similar description, but I thought it would be nice to hang both of them up. And then the plaque here is the one with the Night's Watch oath, which is very nice. Though the book version of Longclaw came with a Direwolf plaque, which I think I would have preferred as opposed to this Night's Watch oath. But you can't go wrong either way, they both look very nice. Now I'll do a close-up of the sword and the Scabbard. Again, the Direwolf Pommel, very nice. I think that looks really cool. I think they did a really good job with that. And then you get this nice leather grip. Just turn this around here, you can see the line there that holds it in place. And then you get more of a basic guard there, but I do enjoy the simplicity of the sword, despite the pommel of course. And then the stainless steel blade. It's very shiny, so I think it looks pretty cool. And then we have the Scabbard. It's made of a very nice leather material. What's interesting is that this piece here, you can actually slide the entire leather piece that keeps the sword in place out, which is interesting but a little bit problematic because the only way you can actually unsheath the sword without this whole piece coming out is by holding it here as you draw the blade, which is a little annoying. I wish you could hold it, say, here for convenience sake and draw the sword, but that's just not the case. I'm pretty sure though that you can put something here, like a glue or something, to keep this in place. So I'll probably get around to doing that at some point. But a very nice looking Scabbard. And now we have Longclaw sheathed in the Scabbard. This Scabbard really does complete the piece. It's very nice. I was contemplating for a long time whether I should get the Scabbard, but when I finally decided to, I was really glad that I did. It just really finishes the product. And if you're contemplating it, I highly recommend it. Show you here how the belt unwinds. A little tricky to do this with one hand, but bear with me. You'll get to see some of the details that the belt hides when it's coiled up. There we go. So, you have this neat little braid here, which is a nice addition. And all of these pieces, you can actually slide down past the scabbard and get rid of it if you so choose. I don't think that's necessary, but it's nice to have the option. And just a lot of really nice little details here on the belt. So here is what it's like to wear the sword. Feels pretty cool. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this on Halloween. But yeah, you can walk around feeling like Jon Snow or whatever. And it's a pretty firm fit, so after a while it gets easier to draw the sword, but at first it'll take some effort. But sheathing it is a bit awkward. You can't actually just... Well, I mean, if you really try, you could, but it's just a lot better to grab it like this and then sheath it up. But yeah, as you can see, this makes a really great prop. It's pretty cool. Longclaw is a bastard sword, meaning that it is longer than a longsword, but smaller than a greatsword. So you can use one or two hands when wielding this, but this actual prop is too heavy for actual sword play. It is intended as only a prop. It is not by any means functional because the blade is stainless steel and it has a rat-tang, I believe, meaning that the tang only goes to about here, and then this pommel is screwed into the tang. So if you actually tried hitting things with this, the stainless steel will just not hold up, and on the inside it would just shatter and the blade would come flying out. So do not try to use this sword for functional purposes. But it's almost sold out, I believe, but you can buy Robb Stark's sword, which is actually almost completely functional. All you would have to do is sharpen it, because it is full-tang and the blade is carbon steel. So yeah, if you sharpen it, it's hypothetically functional, and you can even get a scabbard for it. So if you want a functional Game of Thrones sword, then I'd recommend doing that. But as a prop, Longclaw is a fantastic piece, and I highly recommend getting the scabbard to complete it. I think Valyrian Steel did a really great job with this one. And as an update to my King Robert's Warhammer, I had mentioned in my review that from time to time I'd have to twist this back so that it would be firm so that the head wouldn't shake as much. But one time in doing so, this just sort of cracked and fell off. The epoxy inside just sort of gave out, I guess. Which is really a shame because this is a very expensive product. And I'm surprised because I was very impressed with the build quality of Longclaw, but King Robert's Warhammer is just a very poorly built product, which is a bit shocking for Valyrian Steel. So if you're thinking of buying this, even though it's almost sold out, I would recommend thinking twice before doing so, but any fan of Jon Snow should have this sword. Longclaw is an excellent collector's piece.